Have you ever looked at your bank account or your paycheck and felt like, saving for me right now is unrealistic? And I get it. Or you look at your friends or people that you're almost making the same amount of money. And when maybe you talk to them, you feel like they're able to save a lot of money. But well, on the other side, that you have not been able to save any money. In this video, I'm gonna show you some ways you can start saving even on a low income. Number one, start with a saving goal that feels small enough for you individually to be able to win. When money is tight or when you're on a low income, it might feel like, that you might need to save thousands of dollars, or even you might feel like, there is no need to save because you don't have the thousands and thousands of dollars that people talk about. You don't need thousands of dollars to start saving. What is that goal? What is that small amount of money that you individually can be able to say that, you know what, I can be able to save $300, or I can be able to save even $200. If you can start with $200, it's about the mindset. And once your mindset is set and you know that, I can be able to save money no matter how much money that I'm making, even when you get a lot of money, because you have already exercised that muscle, you're going to be able to save a lot of money even when your income increases. So don't feel like you cannot save because you are on that low income. Start small and set that goal. Number two is turning that saving goal into a real number. As I say, you don't need a lot of money if you're on a small income. The goal is, as I said, it's the small wins that you need to be consistent. Long time ago, I used to say, I want to save. But sometimes when we keep saying, I want to save, most of the time, 99% of the time, we don't accomplish that goal. But when we tell ourselves and put a number into this goal, 99%, we are going to hit it. So, for example, if you're not low income, tell yourself maybe the only amount that you can be able to save, like let's say for the year, is $500. So take that number and reverse engineer it and say, you know what, by the end of this year, I want to save $500. When you have that small amount, your mind tells you something, and it's very, very encouraging to keep going, because when you see the small wins, it's gonna encourage you. So take that number and start small. Number three is giving a job to your saving. It's so important, like when we save, to give ourselves or to give these accounts some job, because just the way, like when we go to our jobs, each one of us has a job. Like we don't all go and do the same job. So it's the same thing with our finances. When we give our finances a job, it's very, very easy to accomplish the goals that we desire. For example, I have different savings account. One of these account, I call it annuals. This is where this account, the money that is saved in there is for my annual bills. Let's say for my Costco, which is due in December. Maybe it's my AAA that I know it's coming up again in December, but I don't want to be surprised. Or let's say I'm a registered nurse and I have my license that's coming up for renewal in September. I already know that the money that I'm saving or putting away is for my bills that are gonna be coming up, and I don't want to be caught off guard. I don't want to be using my credit card. And that's why I'm saving that money. So if something comes up, I'm not going to be tempted to go there, because this account already has a job. So when those accounts have a job, it's very, very easy to be able to save more money. So I would encourage you, when you open that account, give it a job. Number four is automating these savings. Many times we rely on our willpower. And let me tell you, when we rely on our willpower, nothing gets done. Because as I said before, every single person is fighting for a dollar. So when we automate this money, let's say it's the $25 that you have decided, every single paycheck or every single month, I am going to be putting $25 aside. So when you have already taken that pressure out of you, or when you have already know that that money is already taken out even before it hits account, it makes it so easy. And when we have a system, it's very, very easy to be able to save, as opposed to where we're trying to say, we got this money, but now you're like, okay, if I take this $50 out of my checking account or out of my budget, it's gonna mess things up. But when you've already planned for it, when you've already made up your mind and said, you know what, this is what I'm gonna do, and it's gonna be automatically be taken out, then guess what? There is no struggle. The money is taken out and you don't even have to think about it. So make sure you automate that, and let me know when you do that in the comment. Number 5 is deciding what unexpected money is for even before it lands. Tax refunds, bonuses, pay raise. And if we don't plan for this money, somebody is always fighting for our money. So make sure that you are planning for this money before it gets here. Let's say you're getting an end of the year bonus. Think about it right now and decide, what is it am I going to be doing with my bonus this year? I want you to be able to say that money, when it comes, you're not now deciding and thinking, oh my goodness, I just got $2,000. What am I going to do with it? Because when we get our money right there is this rush like, oh my goodness, this is a lot of money. And then we tend to sometimes to spend it right there. And then we're like, what did I do? But when we plan ahead, our minds are clear, our minds are better at making that decision right now as opposed to us waiting. So make sure that you're planning ahead of time. That's such a great strategy. And then when you plan it ahead of time, you already know where it's going before it gets here. Number 6 is don't try to cut everything at the same time. You know, one of the biggest mistakes that people make when we are on a low income is that we try to cut everything at the same time. You cut the coffee, you cut the cable, you cut the subscriptions, you cut your gym. You feel like, oh my goodness, you are used to all these things and now you're like, whoa. Instead of doing that, look at all the things that you might want to cut and then maybe decide, you know what, for this season, this is what I'm cutting. Let's say you look at your life and say, I have a Netflix or subscription for cable, but I'm never home. I have a gym membership, but I don't even have time to go to the gym. Look at your life and see, what is it that I'm using and what is it that I'm not using in this season of life. And then you're not making yourself miserable by cutting everything. Just be realistic on the thing that you can cut small that's still gonna make your life feel like you're living a life. Number 7 is looking to see what you already have before you look for another job. Most of the time when we are on low income, it's easy to say, you know what, I need to find another job. But sometimes we don't need another job. The money that we are already making, we feel like it's not enough, but it's already enough. What I mean is looking around what you have is look how you're spending your money. You might have things in your home that you might not be using. Instead of like maybe going to another job, you might have things that you're not using. And for example, for me, like I'm looking like right now, we have an exercise bike that we don't even use. And I'm thinking, I wonder how much that bike could be. You know, we could sell it for. Sometimes we think that we always have to go out there, but then sometimes we have things in our homes where we can be able to get extra money out of. Or even if you don't want to look for another job, maybe you have a skill that you can use that skill. Maybe you're good at math and maybe you can be able to tutor some student. Maybe you're good at braiding hair. You can be able to braid maybe 2 people over the weekend. Something. Look at what you have before you decide maybe to go get a job. Maybe look around and do some inventory before making a decision to go maybe look for extra work. Number 8 is not inflating your lifestyle if your paychecks get bigger. Many times what we do is sometimes when we get this extra money, we start feeling like, oh my goodness, it's time for us to upgrade our lifestyle. And maybe there was nothing wrong with the lifestyles that we had before. Just make sure that if you end up getting maybe that raise or getting, you know, that extra job that you might get, do not inflate your lifestyle, because lifestyle creep is so real. And a lot of us, you know, me included, I have done some of these things because I'm like, hey, I have extra money. And sometimes it's all in our mindsets because we feel like, okay, this money should be going somewhere. But instead of doing that, you know, let's save that money, let's invest it, and not feel like, you know, that we have to use that money because sometimes it feels like, like it's almost like that money is burning in your pocket and feel like, okay, your phone that was really, really good, now it's time to upgrade it. We don't need all that. So be wise, stick to what you're already making, and maybe invest the extra. Number 9 is track your progress and celebrate your wins. If you've been saving consistently and you've been putting away something, celebrate it and put that progress somewhere that you can be able to be seen. Maybe it's an app, maybe it's a notebook, maybe it's in your note app, and where you can be able to be seen and telling yourself that, oh my goodness, I have already saved something. And those small, and no matter how much that you have saved, let those small wins be an encouragement to you that, guess what, you are moving in the right direction. Let's say that you have saved 500. That's 500 that you didn't have before. So make sure you're tracking and make sure you're celebrating your wins. Number 10, don't let feeling behind stop you from moving forward. It is so easy to feel like we are behind when sometimes we see on the internet or we hear people saying they are a certain age and they have saved a lot of money, they have saved thousands and thousands of money, and you might feel like, oh my goodness, I am falling behind. Don't forget, your goals are your goals, and you cannot compare your destination with the other person, because, well, first of all, you don't even know when they started saving. You don't know their current situation. You don't even know how much they're making, because sometimes they could be making a lot of money, but then they also could have like maybe a couple jobs. So do not let other people's win make you feel like, oh my goodness, it's not worth, for me, what is this $50 that I'm saving? What is it for? Well, other people are saving thousands. Start where you are. The other way I would encourage you to do, like, if you're finding that you're feeling like you're behind, is think about it this way. If you work 40 hours, tell yourself, maybe every 40 hours that I work, I am going to pay myself 2 hours. And the 38 hours, that can go to every single thing, but I'm paying myself 2 hours. Or if you work overtime, tell yourself that every single time that I work an overtime, that overtime is, 1 hour of overtime is my payment. What do I mean by that? Let's say you get paid $20 an hour. You say 2 hours out of that is 20 times 2 is $40. Every time I get paid, 2 hours are for me, because I'm working the 40 for everybody else, but 2 is for me. Not for me to spend, but for me to put away to savings or to start investing. So that's another way that you can trick yourself into saying, like, every 2 time that you get paid is that you're going to be paying yourself a couple hours. And that actually does work, because now you're not trying to give yourself a certain number of amount, let's say the $20, but now you're saying every 40 hours that I work, I'm paying myself 2 hours. And that can be another way of you yourself motivating yourself, saying, how am I giving 40 hours to everybody else? I'm not even giving myself any single hour for myself. And don't forget that these small wins, eventually they will become bigger wins, because it's a muscle that you put in, and eventually you'll be the person now in a couple of years or in a few years where you'll be able to save a lot of money when your life changes. So I hope this was helpful, and I hope it showed you that no matter how much money that you're making, that you can be able to save money on a low income. I hope this was helpful. So if it was, let me know in the comment, what else can somebody do when they are on a low income to save money? Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you on my next video. And don't forget, if you're on your debt-free journey, I do have a why journal that I've written, and that's on I'm gonna put that on in the description. Make sure to download it, and happy paying off your debts too. See you in the next video.